Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Eliza and today I'm going to talk about everything I made in 2022. I think I made a lot of stuff. I'm going to look through my phone to try to remember because I really don't know off the top of my head exactly what I made. I did not keep track of it as I was making things. So I'm just going to go back to January of 2022 and see what I made. Well, I know the first thing that I made was the chunky balaclava, which I have a tutorial for on my YouTube channel. So I made that. I think that was my first finished project. My first finished object of 2022 was the chunky balaclava, which I called the bubblegum balaclava, and that pattern is available to purchase. I'll link it down below. The next thing I made, I made like a bunch of hats using Pearl Soho yarn that my mom got me last year for Christmas, I think. Or maybe she just got me that yarn to make the hats because she wanted to give them to her friends. So I made some hats. Oh yeah, and then I made another balaclava. It was the striped balaclava that I'm knitting in the tutorial video. I made that, but I did unravel it, and then I made it into a hat this past December, which I gave to my friend for Christmas. I crocheted a little bucket hat. I think I just watched a YouTube tutorial on how to crochet because I really am not super familiar with crocheting. And I crocheted a little scrap yarn bucket hat, which was pretty fun. It was like a little floppy, like my crochet tension is not good. But it was fun. Oh yeah, I made a heart cardigan last year. I had a video, I think I put it up in February, about knitting a cardigan with heart cables, and I was going to release the pattern for this, but I just like wasn't able to get enough feedback from my testers to confidently release that pattern. So I was thinking about like rewriting it and adding some charts to make it a little easier and trying to release it again because I don't know, I feel silly like not doing anything with it because I did write a whole pattern and grade it, but I just like wasn't able to get enough feedback basically. So I did make that heart cardigan, which was pretty fun. And then I made the pure mesh pullover by James Watts, which was also fun and pretty quick. I made that out of mohair. I have since unraveled it. What else? There's a big gap where I didn't finish anything. And then in March I finished my fuzzy wuzzy pullover. It's a v-neck sweater pattern that I wrote, and I'll link that in the description below. I finished that in March, and I think I released it in maybe June or July once the testers were done testing. Then I was into rug tufting. I tufted this little flower rug for my friend. I tufted a little clown rug. And there are like funny pictures of my cat on my phone. It's kind of fun to look through all these photos from the year. And then I finished my clown rug, my giant clown rug that's seen in a lot of the background shots of my videos. I finished that in April. That was really fun. It took so long. What else? What else? What else? Oh, I knit this like little scrappy vest with the loopy mango leftover yarn that I had from my fuzzy wuzzy pullover. I think I unraveled that. And then in April I started knitting my mood sweater, which I did a whole series on here on my channel, like a vlog process of knitting the sweater. So I started that in April. I think I finished it in the end of May. Oh, and then after that, I tufted my ray gun rug, which was also really fun. That one took a while too, but it was faster than the clown rug for sure. Then I knit a tiny sweater with a little smiley face on it. Then I knit another tiny sweater. It was a little white sweater, and I don't know that I have a picture of it once it was done, but it had a little green smiley face on it. And then I knit the sweater that I traded, the tiny sweater that I traded. Oh yeah, and then I knit some chunky socks for my grandma when I was in New York City. Those were really fun. I knit those out of Dream in Color yarn, worsted weight yarn, and I used size 4 needles, so they were like very chunky. They were really quick and they were fun. They were like my first finished pair of socks, I think. Little did I know, a month later I would be deeply obsessed with knitting socks. Okay, after I knit those socks, I went home to California and I knit this like micro cardigan. I was going to do a tutorial on how to do this cardigan, but like my tutorial got so complicated and I had like hours and hours of footage, so I think I just need to like redo it, and I'll probably like redesign the sweater a little bit so it fits better because it was not a great fit. But I am still thinking about that. I haven't forgot about it, but I know it's been a while since I said that I was hoping to release that tutorial. After that, I finished my Erica slipover, which I made with Hue Made DK weight yarn that I got in New York City. That I have a full vlog on my channel about knitting that pullover or slipover. It's like a little vest thing, and mine like got super wonky. Like I think it was because I used superwash wool. It was just like, it was wonky even after I blocked it. So I've since unraveled that and started using the yarn to knit chunky socks. After that slipover, I knit the Stripe Overload Polo, which was really fun. I knit that like super fast in like a week, and it was because I was working at the theater, so I had a lot of downtime. It was very, very fast. And there's a full vlog on my channel for that sweater too. Okay, then I started knitting socks. So after that, I knit my Erica sock, which was from the first 52 weeks of socks video, which is on my channel. That was really fun. I had some issues, like maybe at the time I didn't realize that I had like tension issues, but that sock is very loose, and I think it's because it's knit with size 2. A US size 2 needle, and now my preferred needle size is US 1.5. So it's a little bit smaller, would be a little bit of a tighter fabric. So those are like a little loose, but they're definitely still like wearable, and I do still wear them and love them since they're my first sock from the sock series. After that, I knit the Vervain sock, which is the second sock in the sock videos series. I used this like wild space dye yarn, which I was really into. It was like mystery yarn that I purchased many years ago. I talk about it a lot in the video. Go watch the video. Those socks were really fun to make. That yarn was like, it was so cool. Like, I hope I can find amazing yarn like that again soon. And like, I have a lot of amazing yarn that I've acquired recently, but there was just something about that yarn. Like, it was a really bright color with like a burgundy kind of space dye, and it was like twisted really tightly. I don't know, I just really liked that yarn. After that sock, I made another sock. I forget the name of this sock. It was my first toe up sock, and I ended up giving it to my aunt as a little thank you gift for letting me stay at her house during the summer. So that was my third sock. It also has a sock video on my channel. After that, I knit my fourth sock, which I ended up giving to my uncle. I forget the name of that one. It's also on my channel. That one was fun too. That one had cables, and since I knit it for my uncle, it was my first like larger sock, so it took a little bit longer and it took a little bit more yarn because I was trying to make sure it would fit my uncle's foot, which I think is like a men's US 11. And then during the summer, while I was visiting my grandmother, I also did a how to knit a simple sock tutorial, and I knit one sock for that tutorial. I didn't knit the other one, but I do have one finished sock. And then I knit a little vest, which is also on my channel. I was just like pumping out the videos during the summer. I knit this little vest out of vintage Noro yarn. It was just like a really quick and easy project. And I ended up trading that vest for some jewelry from my friend. Okay, and then after that, I knit another sock from 52 Weeks of Socks. I forget what it's called. I cannot remember any of the names, but that one was really fun. I knit that on Amtrak while I was like going home during the summer, and that I used the tiny circular needles, which I ended up not really liking. I used those for a while to knit, and then I ended up switching back to my double points, but that was my first sock also that I started messing, or not messing, but I started playing around with contrasting colors for the toes and the heels, I think, on that sock, and that like unleashed something new for me because now I love doing that, and I feel like most of the time now I like want to do a contrast toe heel cuff. What did I do after that? Oh my gosh, there's like funny pictures on my phone. There's a picture of me laying in bed with a tea bag on my eye because when I was in Portland, I like something irritated my eye and it was like swollen for a while. You can definitely see it in some of my videos from the summer. Like one of my eyes is like red and puffy. What did I do next? Okay, and then I did my 2 at a time Hollingbourne socks in like September, October. Those ones were supposed to be my birthday socks, but they didn't end up fitting me. They came out really beautifully though. They just like, I didn't get the proper gauge. Oh, and then on my birthday, I knit another one of my chunky balaclavas for a sample garment for one of my local yarn stores to advertise like the yarn that you could use and like what you could make with it. So I knit the balaclava and it's like hanging in the yarn store. And then what did I do next? Wow, we're already in October. I guess I should count up how many finished objects I had by the end of the year. And then I knit that like black and purple sock that was just like me knitting a sock for fun. It was no pattern. It was just a little freehand sock. I knit that one in October. And I ended up giving that pair of socks to my stepmom for Christmas. So that was cool. I like was getting down to the wire with Christmas presents and I was just like, what can I give people? And so I gave her those and I think she really liked them. Okay, and then in October I also knit my little bub bonnet by Lydia Morrow. That was really fun, quick and easy. I think I did fingering weight yarn and mohair held together. And I knit it in like a week, I think. And then I wore it on Halloween, which was fun. In October, I also knit the, what are those socks called? I knit the Lazy Daisy socks, which I believe is my last sock video on my channel. Those are knit with a verb for keeping warm yarn. I forgot which yarn, but it's in the video. Go watch the video. And then around the same time, I knit the bolero. It's this little like bolero, 2 sleeves tied in the front with a big chunky bow. I knit that. It was a test knit and I finished it around the same time. I think I finished it after the bonnet because I originally wanted to wear the bub bonnet and the bolero together on Halloween, but I did not finish the bolero by Halloween. Or maybe I didn't finish it by the Halloween party. Either way, they were both done around Halloween. Okay, and then early November, I finished this little scrap vest that I had started knitting during the summer. It was just made with like yarn that I got from the reuse store in San Francisco called Scrap, where people just donate materials. So all the yarn from that vest was knit with yarn. Oh wait, all of the yarn from that vest is from Scrap. It's like donated yarn. And I just have that, and I have a bunch of other like finished objects that I don't necessarily want to keep or unravel. So I'm going to put them on my Big Cartel, and I'll put the Big Cartel in the link below if you want to buy anything. And then after that, I started my Advent videos, or kind of, I'm still like in November here because I had tried to start the Advent videos a little bit early and then that ended up failing. But I did knit that one sock from my Advent series that I designed. And I still have all those notes, so that's part of my 2023 goals, is to finalize that pattern and release it. I also knit this funny balaclava, which was a commission. It was basically my bubblegum balaclava, but they wanted me to put a smiley face on it. So it was a fun commission, fun challenge. And then I just had like a bunch of unfinished projects from my Advent series. In November, actually I'm like hopping around a little bit, but in November I also finished my Uma cardigan and asked testers to test it, and they're testing it right now. So that I finished in November, even though I started it like last April. In December I made some pom-pom wreaths. Those will be in the Big Cartel too. I have 2 of those available. I was making those for the little craft fair at my work and nobody bought them because they were too expensive, because they literally take me like days to make. It takes me like 10 minutes to make one pom-pom, because I make a pom-pom and then I trim it into like a perfect sphere. So it's actually a very time-consuming project, which is why I didn't make a video for it. I still want to make a video for it, and I think I can because it's kind of like a seasonless wreath. It's still on my mind. I haven't forgotten about it yet, but those are in my shop too if you're interested in a pom-pom wreath, a seasonless wreath. And then I knit those little ornaments. I knit a little sock, a little heart, and a little mushroom during my Advent videos. I ended up giving the sock away for a Secret Santa. I gave the heart to my aunt for Christmas, and then I gave the mushroom to my friend for Christmas. And now we're into December, where I was like frantically knitting socks for my family. I knit a pair of pink socks for my aunt, which I was able to finish by Christmas. I knit one sock for my brother, which is actually right here. I still have the other half I have half of the second sock on my needle still, and he said that I could give it to him in like 2 weeks. And then I knit this green sock for my friend, and I knit Frog and Toad for my mother. What else? Was that it? I think that was it. Okay, that was it. So the last thing I finished was Frog and Toad, kind of. I didn't finish Frog's jacket. So he just has pants on. Okay, that wasn't so bad. That was a lot of stuff. I'm gonna try to tally it all up and see how many projects that was, and I'll like put the number here because I don't even know what it is at this point. And then I wanted to talk about some goals for 2023. This year I definitely knit a lot of other people's patterns, which is really fun. But then I feel kind of bad because I've definitely like written patterns and like designed my own things, and I'm like kind of bad about releasing them. So I want to get better about releasing the things that I design and like sharing them with other people. My goal for right now, a small goal, is to release 5 patterns this year, which I think should be doable since I've definitely designed more than 5 things already. And I want at least 2 of those to be sock patterns. That's a small goal. Hopefully we can like do a little bit more than that, but that's my goal right now. Yeah, release 5 patterns. What else? Knit more socks from 52 weeks of socks. I guess that's it right now. Try to like get a little bit more creative, learn how to do more things. The usual. I can't really think of anything else right now. Let me know how many things you finished over the year, whether it was like more than you wanted, less than you wanted, neither of those things, you're like happy with what number you got. I probably cast on like triple the amount of finished objects that I have because I'm like cast on happy. Like I'll cast on new projects all the time. I'll cast on like 3 new projects in one day. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I love casting on new projects. Also, let me know what your favorite thing you made this year was. I think my favorite things are definitely the socks because I found a new love when I started sock knitting, and it's like, I don't know, I just love sock knitting. And when I look at my socks, I'm like, they're so beautiful. Okay, well that's it. I hope you had a great New Year's, and I'll see you soon with some sock content. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!